Yo, what's up, everybody? And welcome to a brand new episode of the Hot Mic here on the Outlaw Nation channel. I am the Outlaw John Rocha, joined as always by the Sneider himself, Jeff Sneider. How are you,
Shy boy? What's up, baby?
What's up, baby? What's the deal with that poster behind you? I'm used to seeing 2 or 3 posters. What's that one?
I know. I took all the posters down.
Yeah.
I have to move out by next week. I still don't even know where I'm moving, guys. Feel free to contribute for moving funds. But I left this one poster up as the background. This used to be over the TV. It's 3 separate prints. Do you know what these are?
Looks like Pulp Fiction. Is that what that is? That the wolf, Marcellus Wallace, and then I don't remember the van. Is that no? Am I wrong on this? What is this?
No,
that's not Harvey Keitel.
That is Harvey Keitel, but that's not.
Pulp Fiction.
Reservoir? That's Reservoir Dogs.
Oh yeah,
that's
Pulp
Fiction.
Is that Jackie Brown?
Exactly. That's at the end there.
Come on. I know that. See, that's when he's having. Oh, are you a doctor? Excuse me, are you a doctor? I remember that scene from Reservoir Dogs. Hell yeah, man. Mike Joyce right out the bat. Too many clothes on Jeff. You're still seeing a little chest. You still see a little chest there. Give him some love, for God's sakes. He looks good. Yeah, we got so much to get into, man. There's so much going on in the world of entertainment. Talk some Star Wars stuff. Got some new trailers. Hey, it looks like it's starting to become award season, Jeff. We're putting away the superhero stuff for the most part, and now we're moving into this much more serious fare and black comedy fare that we're going to talk about from these trailers. We're going to get into our Joker 2 review. We're going to get into some news about Magazine Dreams, Scream 7 news, all kinds of stuff happening here in the world of entertainment. Jeff and I are going to cover it all here in this particular episode. And please remember, Streamlabs Super Chats are open. Send in your love. Send in your love, people, for God's sakes. Give your love overall. And Jeff, your newsletter is out there for people to subscribe to at the insnider.com, getting some good, fresh scoops going on and fresh stories coming on. And Jeff's opinions on this shit, for God's sake. So, yeah.
Maybe I'll drop some stuff this show.
Oh, well, wouldn't that be nice? I'd be very happy to have you drop stuff.
It comes up
show.
Organically.
That's right. So somebody asked the right question, for God's sakes. That's the way Jeff likes to play it. I'm going to write a horror movie where it's just that. If you ask me the right question, you can live. If you ask me the right question, you don't have to saw your leg off. So I think that would be a good one. All right, let's move on to let's start the show with this Mandalorian news here, brother. Giancarlo Esposito was at a Dragon Con panel and revealed that what he'd learned about the future of Star Wars in a post-sequel trilogy world was, quote, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau have a new vision. Continuing on with the Mandalorian movie, my sense is that it's all going to converge at one point or another, and we're going to have another set of a trilogy or more of films. And Jeff, I mean, this comes days before we had this article from THR. I don't know if you read it today. They really kind of broke down the state of Star Wars right now with Disney. Not much in there that was new necessarily, but what do you think? Yeah, exactly. What do you think what do you think about this? It was well written. No offense to the writer. It was well written. But what do you think about this situation here? Do you think this is where we're going? Do you think the Rey movie, which is quote unquote been put on hold, rumored to be put on hold, do you think they're going to clear the slate and just do a trilogy here, leading to Filoni's Avengers-esque type film later on? Do you put stock in these words is what I'm asking.
I mean, are there even enough characters? I mean, I don't know what Avengers-esque means. That whole quote, just as you read it, was kind of gobbledygook. I don't know that there's any validity to the Rey movie stuff being put on hold. You know, that's a lot of just like rumor and conjecture. And maybe, you know, I haven't heard it for certain reasons, but like I still haven't necessarily heard that myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but like clearly it's not progressing like I thought it would.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there is still a lot of time and you know, decisions will probably be made ahead of the holidays and you know, we'll see what heads into production early next year. But you would think that we'd know about it. I guess with the Mandalorian trilogy, it's just like, yeah, that's working for them, right? So if they double or triple down on it, I guess it wouldn't surprise me. You?
Yeah, I'd be a little surprised if they do it because once again, it would be Star Wars changing course. Once again, here was the legacy of, or part of the legacy of Kathleen Kennedy, promising you all this stuff in Star Wars and then delivering very little of what I promised, removing directors off of projects, changing course midstream, and, you know, we'll see what we end up with by the end. So, although I've given her credit for moving people off certain films and, you know, with Rogue One where it worked out, there's also other situations like Solo where I believe it didn't work out, but then we've seen these uneven returns recently. So for them to move off this stuff, do you think this would be the pressure? Maybe the Charmin Obey-Chinoy, maybe those anti-woke Star Wars voices are loud enough to make them make some decisions here to go like, well, Mandalorian and Grogu is the safest bet. Let's just stay on this road till we stabilize a little bit more, and then down the road we'll walk into a whole new trilogy like in 10 years from now.
I honestly have no idea. You know, I don't think it would be Kathleen obviously shepherding that if that is the case.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I did read a whole bunch of pieces. Like I read the THR piece today, which you're right. Like it was a well-written piece.
Yes.
And what it really emphasized to me, what like came through in that piece is like when they start stuff, it was good, right? Like when they launched the movies, like Force Awakens. Okay, Force Awakens was super successful. A lot of people liked it.
Yes.
When we started in TV, we're going to do The Mandalorian, right? So it's just like I think that naturally, and Kevin Feige, to his credit, has handled it better than most people. But eventually, it caught up with him, right?
Yeah.
It's tough when you have to do a zillion series or 3 or 4 shows a year and like 2 movies. You know, it's just like that. The quality control is tough.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
So that was the THR piece. Then Variety did a piece on like the toxic fandom and stuff like that, which to me was like, I mean, it's obviously true, but it's also a little overblown in my opinion.
You do? You think it's overblown, the toxicity of the fandom, or do you think its effect on the franchise?
It's effect. I mean, okay. That's what I mean. Yeah. But you're right that I would have thought that there would be something else in addition to Mandalorian and Grogu that was like heating up, and I still don't know like what that's going to be. Like, what is that other project besides like, okay, if I dropped out of Mandalorian or I didn't watch Mandalorian to begin with, why am I going to see Mandalorian and Grogu? What else do you got? And they have a bunch of stuff, but we don't really have clarity on what's going to be next. You're right.
Yeah, and coming out of a very uneven season 3 Mandalorian and Grogu or Mandalorian show, do I really believe that they found the magic of season 1 and 2 going into a movie format? And someone said that the piece confirmed your point of view that season 4 was turned into the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. So what does that mean? Because we're about to get a Moana 2 that's essentially a mishmash of a series they were shooting as a series, not as a movie. Is this the same situation where they're adjusting the series to become a movie?
I think the idea of it is very similar, John. That's a smart connection to make. Like these are huge brands that belong on the big screen, right? If we're gonna have something that's successful in the Star Wars universe, and that's the Mandalorian, why are we putting it on Disney Plus? Put it on the big screen. So I honestly don't even know. Like, will there be another season? I don't even know. Like, it feels like the future of the Mandalorian, according to at least Giancarlo Esposito, is on the big screen. Don't you doesn't it feel like that to you?
It feels like that to me. Yeah, I mean,
just like Moana should too. It's like if this is Moana, like why are we making shows out of this? This should all be movies. People are willing to pay on the big screen for this.
Yeah, I would accept the Moana thing if maybe the first Moana just barely made a profit and you love the character and you know people responded well to the character and you want to do a series. That makes all the sense in the world. Why the hell would you do a series off an uber successful Moana instead of doing a sequel of the uber successful Moana so you can recoup more money? So yeah, I hear you on that. Of course, this is different because it started TV and then moving to feature film. But I like this idea of them exploring the possibility of a Mandalorian and Grogu trilogy. Look, this is the one universally beloved character that appeals across the board. So why not in a shaky time go like, you know what? We're going to push some other stuff aside here for now. We're still going to develop it and work on it and what have you, but let's focus on this trilogy. Let's get some good faith back with the fans. And then if we nail it by the end, then we can move on. Because right now, even Filoni's name is a little sullied off of Ahsoka and off of rumors that he messed with Acolyte. Like Filoni's name isn't like clean right now. So there's some repair that needs to be done here. And I think going to the Mandalorian and Grogu route makes a lot of sense for a studio.
With this, forgive me, but did you watch the Forky show?
The Toy Story Forky show?
Yes.
No, I did not watch the Forky.
Because I forget if like Buzz and Woody were in that show. I doubt that they were, right?
Yeah.
I doubt that they were, and,
Right.
and it's no different than why you haven't seen the Denzel Washington TV series and why you haven't seen the Leonardo DiCaprio TV series, because these are people like that you go pay for, and that's what Moana is, right? You shouldn't be giving away Moana on the small screen.
Right.
And I feel like Mandalorian is similar. Like that is the character lately that has resonated with Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
Right. That everyone seems to agree, is cool. And obviously Pedro Pascal is blowing up, like, in a way that none of the leads of the other Star Wars shows kind of are.
Right. Right.
So yeah, to me, it makes sense to invest there.
Yeah. Yeah. And we'll see what happens. And what do you think? Do you think the other movies are maybe on a time like has someone flipped over the hourglass and the sands are starting to run out on this Ray movie with Charmin Obaid-Chinoy as the director? And I mean, Sean Levy now, after $1 billion movie, Jeff, a bit more cachet to walk in there and go, hey, what about my Star Wars film now? Don't you think?
I mean, I agree that once Mangold is, has Dylan off his plate, right, by the end of the year, and he'll get through award season, of course. And once Levy is done with, Stranger Things a few months after that or whatever, I think, both of those guys will turn their attention to the Star Wars stuff. And you're right. At this point, Obaid-Chinoy almost benefited from like the rush schedule. It's like, we need a director on this. We got to make this movie now. If now they're like thinking about shit, like, I think you're right. It doesn't necessarily bode well for her.
Yeah, and
this is all opinion, by the way. It's like, I don't know why I have to say that, but I do, because clearly the way that the DC stuff, which we're going to talk about later in the show, was picked up was like insane to me. It was all just like what I thought should happen, and all of a sudden it's like James Gunn thinking of making Robert Pattinson. I was just like, listen, I don't know if that's the case, but to me, it screams out for that. But we'll talk about that in a second.
I know someone cited me on some Josh Hartnett for Two-Face, and I was like, I don't, what? I didn't say that. I don't know what you're talking about. I agree.
I'm a reporter, but at the same time, I'm also allowed to have opinions, and I think that I'm pretty clear about when those things are opinions, and when it's like, hey, I'm hearing this. Sorry.
Exactly. Well, Jeff, you provided the perfect segue. Let's move into this DC stuff here, man. I mean, there's a number of projects were announced just in the last few days. We've got a Deathstroke and Bane movie that is apparently in the works and being written here. There's a dynamic duo movie that is being done animated with puppets, but possibly live action mixed in as well. And then you've got a Teen Titans live action movie coming to us from Anna Nagura, who recently wrote the Supergirl movie. So this is an interesting choice. Am I wrong that it has shades of the Spider-Verse without Spider-Man thing? Like they're getting into the Batman verse, but they're getting into the Batman verse without the Batman. Do you think they're seeing the success of the Penguin without the Batman needing to be in it and going like, okay, now that we see this, let's greenlight this stuff. Because there are a number of heavy hitters who are writing this stuff overall. What do you think about this?
I mean, to me, it feels like James Gunn's kind of just throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks. I don't necessarily see like a clear-cut plan. Like this is off. None of this stuff was in the plan that he talked about.
Very true. Very.
Right? I mean, so I'm just. And again, I wrote a whole thing about Pattinson, obviously, which like, well, I don't know what your opinion is, John, but like the idea of casting another Batman seems so confusing to the like for me. Just if I wasn't a film reporter, just as a member of the public, I don't want to be sitting there thinking, is this movie part of this universe and X, Y, and Z? I just want to like go enjoy a good story. I feel like if you have a good Batman who everybody likes, and there was good response to Pattinson, and you have a Superman who I think most people are going to end up liking next summer. Why are you not using these people in the same universe if that's ultimately the goal? Like, why are we creating another Batman? This is also going to be, and that would be another Batman. He's already done 3 Batman. I mean, when you think about it, he's done, he's cast Hamish Linklater, Reeves.
Right.
He's cast Pattinson. Now he's part of this dynamic duo thing, which is going to feature Batman. That's a separate Batman. That's his 3rd Batman.
No,
now there's going to be another Batman in Brave and the Bold too. Like, what the fuck?
And when we have a Batman appearance, in the Deathstroke and Bane movie because they are essentially Batman villains. That's how you know them, is through Batman. That's how they came to prominence here. So this is an interesting approach, but I would see if this was something they were suggesting. Do you know what I'm saying? But the fact that they're opening the door up to a Batman and Bane and Deathstroke rather movie, I think this is so interesting, the path they're looking to walk down, especially because they've got Matthew Orton, who is no lightweight screenwriter. He is a scribe on Captain America: New World that's come, Brave New World's
did the
coming
reshoots
next year, and the reshoots. Yes, exactly. But he also has worked on a number of other things that are pretty dark. And so you look at this thing and go, well, they clearly want to go with a grittier approach to this project and want to have some fun with it with a writer like him. So how much of that are they're gonna dial into? Do you know what I'm saying? And so do they see that maybe this is the way to go? I mean, he was involved in Operation Finale. He wrote Operation Finale, which is that film about capturing Adolf Eichmann, the Nazi SS officer. Then he wrote Devil's Peak, which is a serial killer crime miniseries from South Africa, and the new film Cleaner that's coming out with Clive Owen and Daisy Ridley. So this is a darker writer, and I don't think you sign him up to do a Bane and Deathstroke movie unless you're actually serious about this and you want to approach what you can do with this and make a darker, grittier Batman. This feels very much like maybe the Matt Reeves approach to Batman is going to be the predominant feeling amongst the DC, and they'll have a
I think it's predominant. I think it's the only feeling. If you look at all these announcements closely, the one thing they all have in common is Matt Reeves. So I wonder if Matt Reeves in his contract has something where it says he has control over any time Batman is like going on now.
Yeah.
Like across anything.
Yeah.
I really would love, because people have been trying to get me to do it. Like, I don't fucking know how to fucking do it, but like,
do what?
Get that answer. I'm not going to get that answer, but the trades could get that answer. If I worked at Deadline, I'd get the answer in 2 seconds. It's just like, does Matt Reeves's deal include oversight over all things Batman?
Yeah, I wonder, because like this dynamic duo movie, which is going to be following Dick Grayson and Jason Todd, the two Robins, it'll follow the origin story of the two Robins. Matt Reeves is working with James Gunn on this. And it could just be that Matt Reeves is in charge, but you've got to say that James Gunn is working on it as well, because he's the guy in charge of DC right now with Peter Safran. So, but it may just be that Matt's the one in charge of it.
Or is James Gunn quarterbacking the thing and Matt just gets a credit, Like I have you don't know how it's really working between, and I know they're both going to say, well, we're equal partners. That's what they're going to say. But
right.
I just
but it's an interesting decision.
It's a lot of so the Bane Deathstroke movie. Deadline went out of its way to there were a couple of things that were interesting about that announcement. The first is like it said we're not going to be connected to the Batman or the Penguin. Right. So now you're making a Bat villain movie where you don't actually know who Batman is in this world.
Yeah.
The other thing was that Deadline said while it's positioned, it was positioned in THR, The Scoop, as a movie about Bane and Deathstroke.
Right.
Deadline said that's not necessarily the case. It said that they're in the movie, but they're not necessarily the main characters.
Wow. I did not see that.
Yeah. Wow. Read it closely, guys. And this is why the internet's, not you, John, but I'm just saying the internet, there's a certain lack of internet literacy. You have to read all the trades almost to get the full picture. You can't just read the scoop, because the scoop sometimes is going to be missing something because it was first. Yeah. Here you go.
Exact plot details are still uncertain, and sources also stress the two characters would be in the movie, but it's unclear if they would be the central figures of the project. Great point.
It's just like, is the media just using that as a shorthand because that's how it's being referred to as, the Bane Deathstroke movie.
Yeah.
But really it's a Batman movie. Just those are the villains of the film. Just it's like somebody calling Dark Knight, the untitled, Batman Begins one, the Joker Harvey Dent movie. Is that what we're sort of talking about?
Right. Is this a roundabout way of announcing it?
Part of me even wondered, like, is the Batman 2 so off track? Like, is this Bane Deathstroke movie actually just Matthew Orton's coming in to rewrite Batman 2? Like, I don't even know.
Jesus, can you imagine?
Right?
Yeah, it's an excellent point. Like, where are they going to go with it? Because this one doesn't. None of the articles mention that Matt Reeves is involved with this one, right? So that Deadline doesn't mention it.
I thought he was, but okay, forgive me.
No, but I'm saying it's an interesting situation because like Deadline doesn't mention it. I don't think Variety mentions that Matt Reeves is necessarily. It's that James Gunn and Peter Safran are greenlighting the project and will be overseeing the project.
Okay. Well, then my bad.
No, but he's involved in the dynamic duo one for sure. So what's the point of that? You know what I'm saying? And the other part is the other one is the Teen Titan one. What about that one, Jeff? Teen Titans
Would
live
that be a
action?
different voice?
Huh?
Right.
Yeah.
Jurassic League, is that a different voice? Right, that was the other thing. These announcements were like, this is the first animated movie. Well, I mean, it may be the first movie to get greenlit, but Jurassic League I announced back in February.
Yeah, true. That's right. We covered it on the show.
Clearly, yeah, DC has been, working with Warner Animation,
Right.
for a while on stuff. I didn't know that you said that this one may be a hybrid.
The dynamic duo one?
Yeah.
Yes. They're talking about the dynamic duo one being because they're going to be working with Swaybox Animation. And Swaybox does like puppetry type of animation. Here, let me bring it up real quick to give you an idea of what they're talking about. And they do. So they're going to be working it this way where it looks like
But
a
it's still
type of
animation,
animation.
right?
What's that again?
It's still animation, though. I don't think it's like a live action hybrid.
They seem to be mixed like this thing. This is the type of animation that they do.
Yeah, it's animation.
It's a kind of look here. So you wonder, well, is this canon? Is this not canon? What is the situation there with how they're approaching this? And why would they go the kind of mixed animation route with this rather than make it live action? What does that mean? Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't know. Apparently, the chat says, that there's rumors that it's a Secret Six movie. I don't know what that is. I've never heard of the Secret Six. That's something that other than the Sinister Six, I take it. The ripoff.
The Sinister Six is Marvel,
right? The Secret Six that's the ripoff one. Ooh, someone's gonna be like, actually, Secret Six came first and was introduced in issue number 4 of.
You don't understand.
I don't know.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot when you look at the situation and whether. So this is something that a friend of mine brought up and said, like, this seems like a lot. Like James Gunn, and you said at the beginning of this conversation, James Gunn is throwing a lot at the wall. I don't want to believe that James Gunn is throwing a lot at the wall, but you really have to look at this situation and go, like, why are you announcing so many projects? What is the rush? Superman still hasn't even come out yet.
You don't know why they're announcing so many projects, John?
I really don't get it unless it's about selling Warner Brothers. Is that what it is? Because the last thing I want to do is have a buy a studio.
25 minutes ago.
Yeah.
25 minutes ago, screenings started for Joker 2.
Oh.
That's why. That's why, John.
You think they know that you? Oh, wow. I hadn't thought.
Listen, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was even bigger DC news either tonight in Bellamy's newsletter or tomorrow in Boris's newsletter.
Oh, that's a great point.
But this is like, you got to do something big just to distract people from just the absolute tanking that's going on with Joker 2, which we should now talk about.
Yeah, you want to talk about it? Okay, let's get into our Joker 2 review here. This might be spoilers, so just letting you know ahead of time. There might be some
spoiler free. I mean, there's nothing to spoil. What do you mean? There's nothing to spoil.
There's a lot to spoil, in my opinion, from the first movie into this movie. What happens in this movie with some of the characters? So, all right. So, Jeff, take it away, man. My non-spoiler review is up, so people can look at my thoughts if they want. What are your thoughts on this? What's your feeling about Joker 2?
This movie was bad.
There you go. Let's put it on the poster. This movie is bad. Go ahead.
And it's like, now it's not garbage. I respect what they were going for, right? Yeah. Like, and I know as a critic, you have to criticize what's there on the screen, right? Not the movie that I thought it should have been.
Right.
But this is just such a wild misfire, just like totally different than the first film, and it looks down on its audience. It refuses to give the audience what it wants, and also looks down on them for wanting what it wants. Real disdain for its audience. It was so long. It was like a 2 hour and 20 minutes. I hated the musical element. Again, I respect it, and I understand how it would make sense. I thought it added nothing. It was just, I loved the first Joker, and this was so tedious.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to agree with you, man. I mean, sitting with it, I took the Lady Outlaw to see it to the fan screening on Monday night, and I didn't want to post a review for a couple of days because I really just wanted to think about the film a little bit more, and I didn't post it till yesterday. But yeah, I couldn't shake the feeling that this was just a film that completely missed the first two acts present a film that I was very interested in. Let's explore this idea. What's the truth? What's reality? What's the mental health aspects of this all? Okay, cool. I'm in. Let's see where we're going with this. Let's introduce a female partner who is in love with him, and let's see where we go with this. What does this open up for us? What more layers can we explore? And look, Joaquin Phoenix delivers another incredible performance in this movie.
He is great. He's great.
Right? I mean, the man is machinist level emaciated in this movie, yet is able to convey so many emotions in certain situations. I mean, that scene with him and Steve Coogan, I thought was fantastic. And I felt like that should have gone a lot longer, exploring more about connecting the first movie to this sequel. But it's in the third act where they completely fumble the ball and even betray the movie they promised you in the first two acts. That's really, to me, the insulting part of the movie at the end. The musical sequences, I think there was too many of them, Jeff. I didn't mind them initially, but then they became something that felt like a crutch. Like, let's just fall back on this and have him leave a voicemail for 3 minutes singing. Like, to me, it was like, what are we doing? Like, use them when you're supposed to use them, which they did initially in the movie, but then it just became too much. Yes. And I felt like Lady Gaga was, Harley Quinn was completely underwritten. There is nothing besides her name that makes her Harley Quinn. She could have been just a female fan from like Love After Lockup with what they gave her to do in the movie. And that was kind of insulting because I thought Gaga did a great job with what she was given, but there wasn't much there. So it kind of betrayed you on a number of levels as a fan of the first movie, but also as a fan of the character, And then that ending, fuck off with that ending, Jeff.
I mean, I'm writing about it tonight, but I think I'm going to, sort of write about the Folie Deux aspect of it all, right? And how like love, in a sense, is a shared mutual psychosis.
Yeah.
And then so is fandom.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm going to try to explore tonight. Hopefully I'll be more eloquent about it. I'll find the words. But yeah, he was great. Lady Gaga, I have really loved her in A Star Is Born. I thought she was great in Gucci, but she did not do it for me here.
Really? Okay.
I think she's
was her acting or the underwritten role?
I think she's beautiful.
All right, fair. Okay.
Yeah. I'm a Lady Gaga fan, but
fair enough.
Harley Quinn is just not that interesting a character.
Well, not the way they wrote her in this movie, because she's barely Harley Quinn. Like, she's barely Harley Quinn. Like in any of the movies, the outlines are there, but she's not actually Harley Quinn, really. And that was frustrating to see.
Just like, you make this Joker was a movie powered by like guys, and then like you turn it into a sequel into a musical starring Lady Gaga. I understand if like the execs go, all right, Todd, we want a Joker sequel, and he's like, well, we're doing a musical. Yeah. And they're like, well, can we do something else? He's like, the only way you're getting Joaquin back and the only way you're getting me back is for doing this musical idea. Yeah. Then I guess you take what you can get. But you'd think that and I know this guy just made you $1 billion, so it's hard to say no. But if you're an executive at Warner Brothers, how are you not like, absolutely not? We're not doing this.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather just leave it as a one and done perfect thing and make something else than make this fucking musical, and like, because it makes no sense.
Yeah. This is where the Todd Phillips from Hangover 2 and Hangover 3 shows up, and you're like, what is going on here? Yeah, because the thing is, if Joaquin and Todd came back just to pull Coppola in Godfather 2, where you are mad that the fans liked Joker from the first movie, so you do everything you can to undercut him in your second movie, that's a fucking insult. I really was mad by the end, because I had this feeling like, wow, the thing is, for those of us who like the movie, there are people who are not incels who liked the movie because of what he represented in highlighting the systemic brutality that can affect people from lower income areas or from people who have mental health issues. there was something more to explore in this sequel that I think could have made more commentary on an unfeeling society and how we create monsters like this by ignoring them or not paying attention to them or not treating them well. I think there could have been something more explored here. And then they kind of emasculated him in a lot of the movie, Jeff, that I thought was like, well, wait, this is a guy that just killed a fucking doctor at the end of the last movie. Now he's like, this child? What?
Right.
So, yeah.
You know who was great in this movie, though?
Brendan Gleeson?
Little Gary Puddles.
Yeah, he was. That was a hell of a scene, Jeff.
That guy was great in the first movie.
Yeah.
I think I said something to him that night of the premiere. I was like,
oh, did you?
Oh yeah. I think I went up to that actor. He was there. And he knocked it out of the park again. He was fantastic. He's in other stuff.
Okay.
I'm sure.
Yeah. What he does on the stand with Arthur is incredible. I'm not going to ruin it, but it's incredible what he does on the stand with Arthur. And I thought that could have been a way to turn the third act a little bit. And then, yeah, anyway, it is what it is, man.
He's from Game of Thrones.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Bobino.
That's his name? Okay. Yash says the movie is a rehash of the first one. I wish it was a rehash.
It is. It is.
I mean, it was good. Maybe not a good rehash.
It just recaps the whole movie. It's like, hey, do you remember killing these people? It's like, yeah, we saw him kill those people. What the fuck?
Fair point. All right. So, but I still think there's some fantastic cinematography. I think Todd Phillips.
Cinematography is gorgeous. Lauren Sher is super talented.
I think he directed. There are some sequences here that are incredibly well directed by Todd, but the story is what lets you down at the end, and it just kind of betrays you by the end. And you're like, "What's the point?" And I know I've seen some critics, and I'm not pointing anyone out specifically. I've just read some reviews of people like, "Oh, it's an art house piece that really dives in and explores," and I'm like, "No, it really isn't. It's pop culture psychology wrapped up in a movie. It's not as deep as you're pretending it is." Because
granted, there was a high bar, right? My expectations were maybe unusually high for this, given how much I did love Joker, but this was not it.
Yeah, this is what you came back to do. You should have left it alone, like you said, Jeff, earlier. So, all right, well, let's take a quick break, and on the other side, we'll talk some more movies and some more entertainment news here right after this. All right, Jeff, let's get into something happier for you. Hey, Scream 7 has a release date. Now, I know she might not be back in it, but Scream 7 does have a release date. February 7th, 2026 is what they're saying here. Nev Campbell, who is not on the screen right now, that's Courtney Cox, and writer-director Kevin Williamson announced this date via their social media channels. So, Jeff, a February release for Scream 7? This is good? This is not good? What are your thoughts?
I think it makes sense. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, the last one came out in like January, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Or at least one of them came out in late January, and it was a success. So I think that's just like a good time to strike. It's outside of like blockbuster area. You kind of get to be the blockbuster there.
Yeah.
Rather than like Christmas or summer. So I think it makes sense.
Well, Black Panther came out in February, right? And I think Deadpool came out in February. So if you have a good movie from a franchise, you might be able to own that month, or at least own the last week of that month and then carry that into March, right? So there's possibilities there.
Yeah, I don't think you should read into the release date too much. I think it's just like, when they want this movie out as soon as possible, right? If you're Spyglass. And so that seems like it's the soonest that they can get it out, because it's going to shoot next year.
We're a year and a half away from that thing coming out. Is the energy still going to be there? Is the excitement still going to be there for this? And now that they've announced this, do we start to hear more actors more quickly signing on here in the next few weeks?
I think casting, will be pretty soon. I don't think Nev will be alone, and as far as the returnees.
Anyone you'd be surprised? Anyone you've wanted to see?
Yes.
To come back, please. Yeah.
Jamie.
Jamie
that's what will signal this entire, like, the direction of this entire movie, is whether Jamie Kennedy is back.
Really? Wow. Okay.
I mean, I don't even know how that's possible, to be honest, but You know,
I got a chance to interview him like a year and a half ago on my channel, and I asked him about coming back, and he's always been like clear, like I'm dead. I don't know why people keep asking me. I'm dead, but if the money's right, I'm sure Jamie will come back. Plus, he's got
I don't think Nev will be alone. I thought that was kind of like an open secret, but maybe not. Okay. So I won't let the cat out of the bag yet.
What about do you think Hayden comes back? Do you think any of those?
Did I lose you, Johnny?
Sorry. Is that?
Do I think Hayden? I don't care. I hope not. Like this obsession. I mean, those rumors of the spinoff, right? Insanity. Like what? What was the last movie she was in? She's not a what?
Yeah.
No, there's no Kirby spinoff, and if there is, I'll eat a shoe. I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if there was a Hayden Panettiere led movie like spinoff. I mean, I guess you could make it cheap and like make it worth everybody's while, but
no, it's bad. You're ruining the brand. You would ruin the brand by doing that. I think. Yeah, that makes no sense. All right, let's move on to something else here, Jeff. Magazine Dreams, a film that you spoke about before all the Jonathan Majors stuff blew up. Well, apparently it is getting a release date after Disney previously pulled the title from their film slate, of course, because of the Jonathan Majors legal issues. But Briarcliff Entertainment CEO Tom Ortenberg told CNN on Wednesday that the company had acquired the domestic distribution rights to the film, which will be released in theaters in early of 2025. And this is the same company that is releasing The Apprentice, the Donald Trump movie with Sebastian Stan and Jeremy Strong. So what are your thoughts on this, Jeff? Are you not surprised? And does this signal like an intent from some companies to want to pick up some of these troubled, dangerous type of films with dangerous subject matter, but also dangerous actors in it to see what they can do?
I think it's just like the Tom Ortenberg is a badass. Right. Yeah. And that's what you have to do as a distributor is you have to carve out a reputation for yourself. And he's a new distributor. Right. I mean, he's been around for ages. He was around, at Lionsgate when they won the Oscar for Crash.
Right.
And he was also running Open Road when Spotlight won.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. So like this guy has always had good taste. He's always had balls. I mean, Spotlight was like that's a movie that takes on, what is it, John? The Catholic Church, one of the largest, most powerful entities on the planet. Like same with Donald Trump with The Apprentice. So it's just like I commend Ortenberg for stepping up on this one. Yeah. I think it's a good financial gamble. I think the movie will have generally good reviews. I mean, it's not a great movie, but it's a great performance, regardless of how you feel about Jonathan Majors. Like it's a stunning performance. Like, so you should have critics on your side. Mm-hmm. Again, even the most liberal critics, like you have to give credit where it's due.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if he pleaded to a deal, 52 weeks. We will be way past the 52 weeks when this film comes out. So do you think that this is the beginning of the turn on Jonathan Majors? Do you think this is the beginning of the comeback? And if he sticks to the program, no other incidents pop up? Do you think if the performance is incredible, people start to change their mind about working with him again?
I think you're 100% right, John. I think this is how it starts. Like you couldn't start a comeback without that movie coming out because it's such a statement performance. Yeah. And now that it does have a buyer, I think you're right. That's the first step.
Yeah, I just have a feeling because when you see the video, what he did, it's pretty unsettling, what have you. And there were incidences in the past, but they were never really verified. And so you go, okay, Jonathan Majors, you did your time in the wilderness. You tried to come back too fast. We as a society clearly slapped you back. So now you chill. You wait till this comes out. When it comes out, we'll see what outlets cover it. And then you can start to have a PR person telling you one thing or the other about who you should be interviewing with, who should you be talking to. Jeff, we should get him on our show. I mean, we
are the hot mic.
We are the hot mic. Interviewing Jonathan Majors makes all the sense in the world, for God's sake. So.
We won't get him because it'll be a waste of time, and he'll do the big apology tour with, Gayle King and
no
Variety or somebody.
No, please, not with Gail King.
Him Masters, who knows?
Nothing against Gail King, just weird. All right, let's move on to some trailers. Jeff, let's get into this. I mean, you are one of the co-hosts of FYC. We're getting into award season for sure. Big movies are coming out. Interesting movies are coming out here in the fall. Let's start with this one. This was an interesting film here. Babygirl, or interesting trailer rather here. Babygirl with Nicole Kidman and oh god, I forget this actor.
Harris Dickinson. Johnny, is that my internet or yours? It appeared to have frozen. Is it me?
Name.
Johnny?
I know he was in
John Rocha's got bad internet. Guys, welcome to the Jeff Sneider Show with your host, Jeff Sneider. I killed John. He's gone now.
Jeff. What are your thoughts on Babygirl? What are your thoughts on Babygirl? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
On this trailer. Okay, good. I had to turn the Wi-Fi off actually and just put it on the Ethernet. Sorry about that. It's hot down.
Well, as someone who used to have a baby girl.
Okay. All right.
I think this looks very accurate. You have to have a little bit of naughtiness inside of you to fully appreciate this Babygirl trailer. Yeah, I thought it. You know, it's hot, it's steamy, it's sexy, saucy, spiky.
as the listen, I saw all these venerable sites give it 4 stars and all of that, and say all the comments they made. I just don't have a thing for Nicole Kidman, so I don't buy this. Like, if this was Rachel Weisz, sign me up. If this is Kate Winslet, even sign me up. I don't have that thing. It's one of the things that kept me from enjoying Moulin Rouge. I do think she's good in Eyes Wide Shut, or sexy in Eyes Wide Shut, but I don't normally think of her as sexy.
Oh,
so
you're so wrong on this.
It's just my opinion. It's just my opinion.
Okay, I know that's fair. It's an objective thing, but
yeah, especially with the plastic surgery. I mean, it's just not, or the Botox, whatever she did. It just kind of takes it away from me. But this has a lot of shades of Secretary. Remember the Maggie Gyllenhaal film with James Spader? But kind of in reverse, in that it's a young guy now who is messing with the head of the company there and exploring this stuff. And by the way, shout out to Banderas. What a Banderas we're experiencing right now, Jeff. He's in the Paddington film. He's in this film. He was recently in the Indiana Jones film. I mean, Antonio Banderas is doing his thing here. So
the Latin Lothario is willing to get cucked on camera.
I know, dude. What? You're gonna cheat on Banderas? What? So, but I do like the premise of this movie, and I think it looks really well directed. So from the trailer, I'll definitely go see it. I won't feel that titillation that other people might feel because they got the hots for Nicole Kidman, but I can appreciate it objectively for what it's trying to do.
Having slept with a few CEOs in my day, you know, I do think powerful women enjoy giving up control behind closed doors to a certain extent.
I'm not saying anything.
Why not?
That's all, because I've never slept with any female CEO, so that's all.
Well, you could only get to the VP level, huh, buddy?
I'd be happy to get to the PA level. Let's be truthful. Yeah, but this looks good. Do you think this is any awards? Nicole? Any?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
I think Nicole Kidman's going to get nominated for this. In fact,
okay.
Tune into For Your Consideration tomorrow for our Best Actress episode.
Nice.
See if my colleagues Scott Manson, Perry Nemiroff agree with me. But yeah, I thought she was fantastic. I don't know if Harris will get nominated. He's good.
I love him, man. I'm really starting to like him.
I think he's a really talented actor, and not necessarily who you would think of for a role like this. But yeah, I think screenplay potentially. But yeah, I don't think it's quite. You know what? The score. I love the score for this, and it's like what you can hear in the trailer. That like, yeah, it was really good.
Okay. Yeah, and Harris Dickinson, one of those rare English actors that can do a good American accent. So that makes me even more excited to see what he can do with this, or when I get a chance to see this one. And what do you know about the director, Jeff? I don't know much about her. Is she someone that's done a lot of things that you've enjoyed, or is this kind of like her coming out party as a director?
She did Bodies, 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 which I was not a fan of.
Okay.
So to me, this was just like a huge leap forward, just in terms of like maturity of subject matter and theme, and like it wasn't like, oh, I'm trying to like hit the zeitgeist with this like cool whodunit slasher featuring these 20. It's no. Let me tell you like a real story about like what's actually going on out there in the culture.
Yeah, interesting. Huh. Yeah, well, I mean, her first film, Instinct, is a film with Carice Van Houten from Game of Thrones, the Red Melisandre. It's based on a seasoned psychologist who's completely infatuated by the sex offender she's treating in a penal institution. So clearly she's exploring these sexual issues here, right? From a female point of view. Yeah.
And I love that, she's interested in that. Like I between her and Coralie Fargeet, it was a great year.
Yeah, we need to stop being so fucking straight-laced about this shit. Let's open the doors again.
Look at how you reacted. It was, I didn't say it. How dare we talk about sex? It's like a big fucking part of it. You know what? It's how we all got here, guys.
There's a difference between talking about sex and then postulating on what female CEOs want. That's all two different things, man. Two different things. Well, let's move on to an older guy. Let's move on to juror number 2 here. Clint Eastwood's new film with Nicholas Hoult leading the way here. I like this trailer, Jeff. I like this premise. This idea that you may have committed the crime that you're on the jury serving for, and that the guy who is being accused of the crime, not a nice guy, but do you let them go away for you because you're a better person than this guy, or do you confront this stuff? Good stuff from Kiefer Sutherland. I thought was really nice. So I'm into this movie. What'd you think of this trailer, man?
Bring that photo back up, John.
All right, let me bring it back up. There you go.
Let your eyes go numb a little. Okay.
What am I looking at?
Stare at his face.
Yes.
If this movie was made in 1995, whose face are you looking at?
Kiefer Sutherland.
No.
Who am I looking at?
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
That's a Tom Cruise role. Okay, watching this trailer, I'm like, this is a Tom Cruise movie if this was 1995.
You're so wrong. It's a John Cusack movie if this is 1995.
No,
you're insane.
No. This is Tom Cruise wrestling with a moral dilemma. I mean, A Few Good Men, The Firm. He already sort of did these movies in the 90s. But I can totally see it. I think that
makes sense. Actually,
Nick Hoult taking a page out of the Tom Cruise playbook. Why? After he got a little taste of Tom Cruise, because he was almost going to be the villain on Mission Impossible 7. Right. I'm telling you, he got into Tom Cruise's orbit, and now whether it's him, it's Glenn Powell, everybody wants the Tom Cruise playbook, and that's what this is out of. And I think it looks really good. Like you said, it was a great trailer.
Yeah.
And it's just very simple. It's just like, this is the scenario. What does this guy do?
Yeah. Yeah. Good bunch of actors in this one. Zoe Deutsch, J.K. Simmons, Toni Collette, Leslie Bibb, as I mentioned, Kiefer Sutherland's in this, Chris Messina, and Cedric Yarbrough, who you see in the picture as well.
What is Zoe Deutsch in this movie?
His wife, I imagine, or is she the woman that got hit?
No, he's the. She's the wife. She's the wife.
Okay.
And more importantly, she's the pregnant wife. Right. The stakes couldn't be higher for Nick Hoult. He's got a pregnant wife now at home.
Right.
Like, does he really want to turn himself in and
do this?
Yeah. And like does he try to use his position on the jury to get the guy found guilty or to get him off? And then, then everybody gets to go home at night, right. Technically, right. I don't know. I think it's fascinating.
It's a good conundrum. You're right about the Tom Cruise thing. I forgot about The Firm. I forgot about those films in the mid-90s. Great point, man. Great point. Let's move on this one. Have a little fun with this one. Ballerina. Ana de Armas. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, if Ana de Armas was in Babygirl, I would 1,000% be first in line to see this movie. But Ballerina, this from the world of John Wick movie here. The trailer came out just on Friday last week. What a trailer, man. What a performance, I thought, from Ana de Armas in this trailer. And fun to see Keanu Reeves back as John Wick for a few scenes. But what do you think of this one? Does this look like it's going to work, or do you think it's not going to work?
I think the movie was heavily reshot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Why are you eating? What did Guillermo tell you?
I'm hungry.
Okay.
That's why. Because I need my energy for the show. You just caught me off guard, and I got pretzel mouth. I think that this movie looks good.
Okay.
but I worry about how much it costs. Like if you could have kept costs down, then it might be worth it. But if you had to like reshoot a bunch of it because it wasn't working, then now it's like, okay, now you need it to be a home run or like a triple to perform when like, all you should really be counting on is a double here. I don't know. It kind of undercuts the whole like Keanu, like we needed a cameo from him to justify this movie. Is that it?
Yeah. I mean, it's from the world of, you've got to see him. It makes all the sense in the world. You don't like it though, that you see him.
It just cheapens like the John Wick movies, but that's the thing. No one cares about. Oh, it cheapens the past. No, but nobody cares. It's just like, will it help this movie open? Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And I also didn't love, even though it worked, they used the Elton John song, right?
Yeah.
Elton John in this trailer. It's like, Ballerina, have you seen it? She's like hiding behind. I'm like, this is a little on the nose as a trailer song.
Yes, they use the Tiny Dancer song in the trailer. I hope it's good. I hear from my sources that they have not had positive responses to this film, but maybe, as you said, the reshoots maybe fixed some of those issues. We will see.
And who do you think directed those reshoots, John?
Oh God, was it him? Was it Len Weiss? Was it Weissman or who was it?
I think you know who it was. Who directed all the other movies?
David Leitch. You think David Leitch did it? You think so?
It wasn't David Leitch. You're thinking of the wrong guy.
Oh, it's Stahelski, right? All right. We will see. All right. Let's move on to this one here then. Which one? Oh, let's do this. Companion. This is interesting, Jeff. A teaser trailer here with Jack Quaid and what's it? Sophie Thatcher? Is that her name? Yeah. What'd you think of this one? This was another one of these it looks like another one of these like robot type movies with a human being. What's happening here? She's reacting to things. But so what do you think of this one? Does this look, it felt like a little bit like The Menu, but with an android. What are your thoughts here?
Great teaser. Haven't read the script. I have the script, but I haven't read it yet.
Okay.
But yeah, I really like the teaser. Obviously, the image with her just like watching her arm burn is very compelling. I think as an audience member, I expect that movie to do very well.
You do? Wow.
I think Jack Quaid is someone who people really like as well.
I agree.
He could be like a budding movie star, and he just needs, like something big. Like why couldn't it have been like him in Jurassic World instead of Jonathan Bailey or something like that?
Good point. I've been a fan of Drew Hancock since Suburgatory, so I like that he's trying his hand in a feature film like this. This looks interesting. It's clearly going to be a black comedy from what you see in the trailer, and I like that the teaser was only 1 minute and 10 seconds. Like we just had a teaser that was 3.5 minutes, and it's like, well, why would you do a teaser that's 3.5 minutes? This is a teaser. Gets me interested. It's in a little bit over a minute, and now I want to see more. That's what it is.
Where do you get black comedy from that?
Are you kidding right now?
That's not a black comedy.
I'm telling you right now. That looks like a black comedy to me.
Okay. That looks like a horror thriller with sci-fi. Like a horror thriller to you? Yeah. There's a lot of blood. There's a lot of blood in that trailer.
From what Drew has done in the past, almost all his stuff is kind of like dark comedies. Like My Dead Ex is a bit of a dark comedy. Suburgatory, in essence, at times was a bit of a dark comedy. So plus he did Blue Mountain State. Jeff.
I don't know what this has to do. I don't know.
Just saying there's a style there.
Okay.
When you catch yourself laughing in the movie, think about me. One last one. Emilia Pérez. What do you think of this one, Jeff? I know that's Selena Gomez in the front on that one, but this is an interesting film. It's a very much a Latino film, so that got me excited. But the lead is Carla Sofia Gascon. This also has Zoe Saldana in it. Adriana Paz is in it. Edgar Ramirez is in this one. It is from Jacques Audiard, who is a French director. Jacques Audiard, sorry.
Jacques, yeah.
Sorry about that. French
I think this is a stunning trailer. I thought it looks fantastic. I can't wait to see this movie.
A lawyer receives an unexpected offer to help a feared cartel boss retire from his business and disappear forever by becoming the woman he's always dreamed of being. Ooh. Interesting.
I'm a big Odiard fan. Rust and Bone is fan. You ever see Rust and Bone?
No, I don't think I saw that one.
Oh my god, John! Watch Rust and Bone. You watch the trailer because it's truly one of like the top 10 greatest trailers of all time. I would say.
Really, Marianne Cotillard in that one, huh?
Yes,
I love her.
Rust and Bone, A Prophet, and Sisters Brothers. I really like this director. I think.
Oh, he did A Prophet. I did see A Prophet. I thought that was damn good. Oh, I didn't know it was the same person. Okay. Did I say it right? Jacques Audiard.
Yeah.
Also wrote Sisters Brothers, right? The Western.
Yeah.
Directed it as well. Yeah. I only got it through an hour of that one. I don't know why. Maybe I need to go back. Maybe I need to be in a better mood for that one. One more trailer. The new Nosferatu trailer, Jeff. I don't have an image for that. What did you think of the new Nosferatu trailer?
I think this movie looks great, and we're all asleep. Like, if this movie was directed by Guillermo del Toro, we'd all be talking about it as like an awards contender. But because it's directed by Robert Eggers, no one's talking about it like that. It looks fantastic.
I don't know if that makes sense. I mean, The Lighthouse got a lot of award attention.
No, The Lighthouse was bad.
What? I thought that was a good movie. What are you talking about? You don't like it? Okay.
Two guys waiting in a fucking lighthouse, dude.
Well, my dinner with Andre is two guys talking at a fucking table, Jeff. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Lighthouse.
All right, fair point. Whoa. All right, let's do one more story and then we'll take a break, hit a couple stories, and get your Streamlabs and Super Chat. So start, if you haven't sent in your Streamlabs and Super Chats, do it now. You see the address above Jeff's head. It's pinned in the chat.
I gotta pay for movers, guys.
Yeah, send in some love.
Send it in.
Come on, guys. Daniel Day-Lewis, brother, he is unretiring, apparently. He's coming out of retirement after 7 years after his last movie, Phantom Thread here. To be in a film directed by his son, Ronan Day-Lewis. The project was announced Tuesday by Focus Features and Plan B, which are partnering on Anemone. The film will star Daniel Day-Lewis with Sean Bean and Samantha Morton. It's co-written by the two Day-Lewises. And it's described as exploring, quote, the intricate relationships between fathers, sons, and brothers and the dynamics of familial bonds. This is Daniel Day doing his painter son a solid, isn't it? Like, it's not him coming back to be an actor again, don't you think?
Yeah, I think this is just like a family affair.
Right?
Yeah. I don't think that this it's like offer season and everybody should be sending scripts to Daniel Day-Lewis. I'm sure everybody will.
Right.
I don't know if they ever stopped, quite frankly, but I don't sense this as like a return. This just feels more to me like my son wants to be a filmmaker and like I'm the best possible way to give him that chance. Right.
Like maybe I wasn't home a lot doing what I was doing. And so here's a way to make it up to my son, maybe. I don't know. Wasn't the Ballad of Jack and Rose? I thought
his wife.
I was going to say. So he's willing to do stuff with his family to help his family in these situations, right? Rebecca Miller, his wife, doing this one. So, right. That makes sense to be.
I don't know that I think there's a difference between making the Ballad of Jack and Rose and then making a movie with your 26-year-old son, but fair enough.
Family's family, man. I feel like. And I guess this would be his debut, Ronan Day-Lewis' directorial debut, because he's a painter. So,
yeah.
Interesting. All right, let's take a break here, man. And we'll hit. Oh, do we have one more minute? All right, one more minute. Then we'll take the break. Blade, what are your thoughts on this? James Samuel, this is according to World of Real, met for the Blade directing job and impressed the Marvel brass, according to World of Real. And it looks like the latest draft might have finally satisfied everyone involved. From Eric Pearson. So what do you hear, Jeff? Do you think this is true? Do you think this makes sense? Does this pass your smell test? Are we back on board with Blade and Mahershala Ali?
I've heard my sources are saying no.
Oh,
my sources are saying it may be somebody else
who's going to direct it. But the Mahershala Ali is still on board. Eric Pearson's still writing the script. That's still fine.
Yeah. I'm not saying anything about that. Okay. I'm just saying with regard to this report saying that it's James Samuel.
Yeah.
I mean, it may be true, but
you're hearing someone else.
I'm hearing my sources are saying that's not what they've heard.
Ooh, okay. All right. Can you tell us who they've heard?
No.
Okay. All right. I just want to ask. All right, let's take a quick break. And on the other side, we'll hit a couple more stories and then we'll jump into your Streamlabs and Super Chat. Send them in now. We'll be right back right after this. All right, Jeff, two more stories. Let's get into this. The Lanterns finalists, according to THR, you wrote a fantastic breakdown of a number of young black actors that could play John Stewart. But according to THR, they have the frontrunners being Aaron Pierre, who we just saw on Rebel Ridge, and Stephen James, who was in the piano lesson. They are the ones in the mix for John Stewart. We had said, or you had said, that you thought it was going to be a younger person. These are Aaron Pierre is in his 30s. So do you think this is really where they're going? Is Damson Idris out? What are your thoughts on this, or what are you hearing?
They're both 30, I think. Both of them are exactly 30. I did think that they were going to go younger. But I think it's clear that when they didn't get the movie star that they needed, I think if they had to maybe
pivot,
choose someone who's a little bit more established
and maybe hotter in terms of their career at the time.
I think somebody who's like, led a movie before or done something rather than just like some fresh-faced 23-year-old kid who you can pair with a Josh Brolin because he's Josh Brolin.
Right.
I think that may have something to do with it. I also think, other people have sort of said like the Brolin stuff just came down to money.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's an expensive show and they just, yes, they wanted a movie star, but they wanted an affordable movie star, and Brolin was asking for too much, and that's how Kyle Chandler wound up with it or whatever. I think that Pierre, he's sort of like the fan favorite. He's who everybody kind of wants right now.
Yeah.
And I think the fans kind of got their way with Superman and David Corenswet.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't shock me if that was the direction that they went in. I just don't you think that this is sort of beneath him a little?
For Aaron Pierre?
Yeah.
No, because that was a Netflix streaming movie, Jeff. That was not a theatrical feature that made like $200 million. That was a Netflix streaming movie, so he's not there yet. I don't think so.
Don't you think he could be like? I just feel like that guy's like a movie star, and I think he knows he's a movie star. And like with Majors out of the way, like it's an even like bigger opportunity, right?
Right.
Why not go star in movies?
Well, maybe he sees this as a way into a franchise. Well, we're going to adjust the script. Initially, we were going to have the script, and it's a young kid, and maybe he's Green Lantern going forward, going into the DC universe. Maybe it's Josh Brolin. Well, now it's clearly not going to be Kyle Chandler. You get someone, like you said, Aaron Pierre, who's a bit more of a hotter name in terms of that approach, or Stephen James, whichever, but I think it's going to be Aaron Pierre. And then you go, okay, we're going to adjust the script. So the highlight is more on you, the highlight is more on you. And then we're going to launch you into the DC universe as our main Green Lantern. So there might be promises being made here, Jeff, that are financially great for Aaron Pierre. And look, he's a young black actor. It's not like there's all kinds of opportunities. Nobody knew his name and he's 30 years old until the Netflix movie. So, you know what I'm saying? So there's still time to build and do those movies, and nothing says he can't do the movies while he's also shooting this particular.
Put it this way: if he's a finalist, right?
Yeah,
then he's interested, and his team wants him to chase it and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But if it's just like a wish list kind of thing, again, I just if I'm him, I go in pursuit of movies, and I kind of think that Stephen James is a better fit for the role, anyways. I think Stephen James he's kind of like being overshadowed, obviously, in the discussion here by Aaron Paul. I put Stephen James on my list. No one was talking about Stephen James, right? He was not on any fucking list. No, he did not come up in conversation. I put him on my list because he's a magnetic actor. I mean, I watched the fucking Quibi series that he did, Free Rayshawn.
Yeah.
Okay. He played Jesse Owens. He was in Beale Street. He was good opposite Chadwick in 21 Bridges. Like he's in a lot of that movie. I've always liked him. And I think that he makes more sense as John Stewart than Aaron Pierre, who just doesn't seem like the kind of guy who needs a mentor. But that's just me. I understand why you would cast Pierre for sure.
Fair enough. He's in Babes, huh? I didn't see Babes.
Babes is great. Babes is a good movie to watch with Mrs. Outlaw.
Yeah, I showed her the trailer last night. It just popped up on Hulu.
I laughed. I cried. He's not in it very much, though.
Okay. she says we need to watch that film. She rarely likes films, so it's a good thing. I'll see him in that one. All right, so we'll find out what happens with that as we're getting, but it seems like we're getting closer, Jeff, to an announcement for John Stewart.
It's Steve. Right? It's Stephen James and Shamir Anderson are brothers, I think.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I think that's
one more. Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Is that one of your 90s favorite horror films there, Jeff?
It is. I rewatched it this week after the announcement. It was fucking amazing.
Rebecca De Mornay, Annabella Shora. I forgot the dude's name. Not really that important.
Is it just Matt McCoy?
Is it Matt McCoy? That's right. Matt McCoy. That's who it is.
That's why I'm a Schmodown champion.
Not without that belt that you sold, you're not. The Hand That Rocks the Cradle here. Maika Monroe is going to be the lead of this one, fresh off her success with Long Legs. She signed on a top line this particular film. Michelle Garza Cervera is directing the feature. She's Mexican director there. It's being produced by Radar Pictures, Ted Field, Michael Schaefer, and Mike LaRocca, part of the Department M banner there. So are we excited about this? I mean, are we into this idea? Do we like this? Do we need a remake of this? And do you like Maika Monroe coming in to play the? Will she play the Rebecca De Mornay character, or will she play the Annabella Shora character? What are your thoughts?
She's definitely playing the Rebecca De Mornay character. Yeah.
Okay.
Love it. Can't put like Jamie and I were kicking ourselves that we didn't include this among like the Fox IP, the list of Fox IP that we did that story on after Alien. Right. I think I'd brought it up too, but like. It's so good, and it's so like risque. Like you could never get away with some of the stuff that's in this movie. It's fucking wild.
Yeah.
Ernie Hudson's mentally handicapped character. I mean, you'd have to kind of cast someone who's mentally handicapped, right? Like you couldn't ask someone to play that role. I don't even know if you'd have that as a character.
Yeah.
Some of the idea of like breastfeeding another woman's child is pretty. You're just raising your eyebrows at me. It's like that's twisted. That's like some evil shit.
Yeah. So I differ from Jeff because Jeff was younger than me when he saw these movies, and this movie is a cheeseball movie.
Oh,
and no offense. I know people loved it of a certain taste, and I've never been the biggest Rebecca De Mornay fan, so. Her acting has always been kind of hit or miss for me. And so this was like at the height of Rebecca De Mornay, this film. Like this was Rebecca De Mornay was an A-lister when this film came out. And Annabella, I think, was getting to that point off of independent films.
She's amazing in this.
Yes, Annabella is damn good in this. Annabella's always been a damn good actress. But yeah, I think it's right. I think it's a good one to remake because there's more to explore nowadays. Especially the idea of like children and who's raising your children and the exposure and the whole thing of like
it's a Me Too story. This was Me Too before it was Me Too.
This could really explore that. Yeah, I think there's a lot to explore in this one, man. Another cheesy one they should remake is The Crush, the one with Carrie Elwes and Alicia Silverstone.
I've been saying that for years. I mean, they've tried. Morgan Creek has been developing that for ages. It's like a no-brainer.
Tell you what, I'll write it for free. They can make it and then give me
exactly. I don't know why people don't. I would do the same. Like Hollywood, come to us.
Yeah, The Crush is easy to rewrite. I don't know what the
professional writers.
For God's sakes,
you only pay us if you use it.
Maybe even Fear. I would even redo the Mark Wahlberg one, which I thought had some good ideas in it. Fear, I thought was really interesting. All right. Anyway, there you go. So that's all the stories. Let's jump into the Streamlabs and Super Chat, Jeff. Unless you want to hit another story before we go and get into these. No? All right, let's do it. Razal Him says, I read something about a recent Cat 4 test screening. Do you have any info on that? I do not. I've heard a number of things from sources, but of course, those are after reshoots or before reshoots. So I don't know where the film is right now. Jeff, have you heard anything?
Just that you typically test screen movies this early when they're not really working. I mean, when you need feedback and you don't know how to fix things and you're like, is this confusing? And like, we need notes on this. And I mean, if everything's working, everything you're seeing is great. You don't like, hey, let's go ask a bunch of strangers if this is as good as we think it is.
Or do we have to start announcing DC projects when this film comes out? Shawnee Bear says, Rocha, how do you feel about the new AEW TV deal? Look, this is a great deal they've signed. It was $150 million per year. They keep Dynamite and Collision on TBS and TNT, and they'll start streaming their programming onto Max, which is possibly exposing more eyes to their product there on Max. So to me, this is all the smart moves. Now they got to start booking better storylines for these wrestlers, and then maybe they'll start competing with WWE. But a good deal for Tony Khan and AEW there for sure. C Black says, any updates on Doomsday and Secret Wars? No, I haven't heard anything. Jeff, have you heard anything?
Nope.
Okay. All right. There you go. Max Sloth says, who should be cast in Baz Luhrmann's Joan of Arc film? Kaylee Spaney or Jenna Ortega? Will this movie really get made? I think it'll get made. I mean, he was successful with Elvis, Jeff. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think Baz has made Warner Brothers enough money. And Warner Brothers obviously loves Jenna Ortega, so it wouldn't shock me.
You got to get her in there now. She's gonna get older eventually.
That casting wouldn't shock me. It's just whether Jenna Ortega would feel comfortable playing.
Yeah,
French. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Kaylee Spaney, I think, makes more sense to me, but I could see Jenna doing it for sure. And look, we're probably ignoring like 10 other young female actresses that are headlining.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people who could do it. You know who I have liked lately is Willa Fitzgerald.
Okay. What is she?
She was in Strange Darling.
Oh, right. Okay. All right. Also, the Scream TV series. So I see you stay close to home there, Jeff. I see you stay close.
Yeah.
All right. C Black also says, is the Scarlet Witch movie real? Also, is The Rock playing Apocalypse and Mutant Saga? Yeah, those things dropped this week, Jeff, from Scoopers saying that The Rock is apparently in line to play Apocalypse in the MCU. Please, God, no. And then Scarlet Witch, is the Scarlet Witch movie real? I think that's much more possible than The Rock becoming Apocalypse. Jeff, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think that is much more real than The Rock being Apocalypse. Apocalypse, like the character that Oscar Isaac played?
Yeah, that character.
You think that's the answer for the Rock?
You think that's the answer for the MCU? For X-Men? No, that's not.
Yeah, I don't know that I see that, guys. Who are these scoopers? I'm so curious. How do these people scoop these things? I think they're just getting their hands on these like ridiculous documents that are full of nonsense.
Stevie said, what is going on with the Ray film? Is it still going to hit that December release date? Is Charmine still on board? I'm really looking forward to that one. I think she's not going to direct it by the end, and I think it's not going to hit that December release date. That's just what it feels like to me from my gut. I have no information on that other than my gut. It's speculated. Jeff, what do you?
I just trust John's gut. So.
Only with box office. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I think at this point your instincts kind of feel right to me.
Yeah.
I just haven't heard much on Charmine's movie to suggest super active, but I don't know.
Yeah, like Daisy's been doing all these interviews.
I haven't heard it's paused either. So
yeah, that's true. Even though it says it's on hold, some people are reporting that it's on hold.
What do these people know? What is their track record in Star Wars land?
I hear you. Ernestine Forever says, Rocha, have you seen Leguizamo's Emmy speech and thoughts on his doc series? I haven't seen his doc series, but I saw the speech. I thought the speech was fantastic, even if Leguizamo is a bit of an imperfect. Leguizamo at times has misspoken about Latino things and Latino issues and not known certain actors were Latino when complaining about projects not having Latino actors in them. So he's a bit like Jose Canseco. The message was right, but he's a bit of a unreliable narrator in that way. But I thought the speech was beautiful, and I thought people gave it the respect it deserved. And John's been out there banging that drum for a long time. So he's got a right to deliver an Emmy speech that way. So, I would have liked a Latino with a bit more prominence than Leguizamo to deliver that speech, but respect. I don't know what the doc series is, though, so I haven't seen that. Have you, Jeff? Have you seen the doc series? You know what that is at all?
No.
Okay. Buster Barnes says, Deathstroke and Bane movie will probably be a Secret Six movie in the DCU. Gunn has said before Secret Six would make a great project. So maybe, I guess.
I don't know what these things are. I don't think the general public knows either, but I guess it didn't matter when it came to Guardians. So it's like, I don't know if that's like an anomaly sort of thing. or if James Gunn thinks that it's possible to just turn everything into Guardians, and it doesn't, like, the audience doesn't need any familiarity with anything anymore.
Maybe. Marma says R.I.P. John Amos, who died on August 21st. Favorite role of his? I guess it would have to be Good Times, even though I loved him in West Wing, loved him in Coming to America and Roots, a number of things, but he'll always be JJ's dad on Good Times. Jeff, your thoughts on John Amos's passing, and do you have a favorite role?
No. Was he in one of the Friday movies?
He was in Coming to America. He was the dad in Coming to America. No?
Yeah.
All right. What about Chris Christopherson, Maggie Smith, John Ashton? Any thoughts on those all those people who've passed, Jeff?
John Ashton was the one who hit me the hardest because I
Yeah?
loved him in the Beverly Hills Cop movies and, you know, Gone Baby Gone, a whole bunch of other stuff. Some kind of wonderful.
Right, the dad of Eric Stoltz and Some Kind of Wonderful. Absolutely.
Yeah, so, John Ashton was the one that hit me the hardest. Maggie Smith, obviously a remarkable career, R.I.P. There's been a bunch of kind of notable deaths lately.
Dikembe.
It's been going around.
Fucking Pete Rose, bro.
Yeah.
I'm watching the doc series that they released earlier this year on Max. Fucking great series on Pete Rose. And he says a number of times in that series, I don't want to die before they put me in the Hall of Fame. I want to get so it's just like, it's such a shame that it'll have to be after his death now. And they should.
John, did you see Wolves?
I've not watched Wolves yet. Haven't heard good things. So I haven't made myself sit down to watch it. Did you?
Yeah, I watched it last night.
And?
There's no way that movie gets a sequel. Like, why would you do a sequel to that movie?
Do you see now why they didn't release it in the theaters?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair point. Buster Barnes says, is having 2 live action Batmans really that much of a problem when by the time we get DCU Batman, we'll only have 1 Pattinson movie left anyway? Who knows? How can you know how many Pattinson movies we have left? Yeah.
Yeah, like, where is it written in stone that Matt Reeves gets to do a trilogy? Like, again, I think that he'll kind of get to do that second movie, and then it may be like, all right, we're taking your Batman. I mean, I don't know. But I think it's a problem. Yes, yeah. I do think is having 2 really a problem. Yes. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Hey guys, I got to tell you, I'm starting to shut down. I took 3 shots today, COVID vaccine, a flu shot, and a single shot. So I'm starting to run out of energy. Just letting you guys know that ahead of time. So if I start to slur or stumble a little bit, please forgive me. Please forgive me if I start to slur or anything like that. Max Slaw says the actor who plays Gary Puddles is in Steve McQueen's Blitz in a supporting role, Jeff.
That's little Gary Puddles to you. Little Gary Puddles. Dude, I laughed. I was the only person in the theater who laughed when he started talking in that voice, John.
Yeah, the southern voice.
It was unbelievable. I was like, it was crazy.
It was like something out of a sketch. Tell me, Mr. Puddles, if that is your real name.
If that is your real name. You telling me that's your real name, Mr. Puddles?
Puddles? Is that your real name? Black Green Can. That's when that fucking Phillips was like, fuck it, man. Just do whatever you want.
Joaquin was in on the joke.
Yeah. Black Green Canvas says, John Boyega going to play Otis Redding in a biopic. Yes, that was announced this week. Yeah, very exciting to see John play Otis Redding. That'll be cool.
Is it exciting?
I do. I like Otis Redding. Do you want me to play you some of his music, you son of a bitch? What's wrong with you?
I have some Otis Redding on my phone. There's nothing. Otis Redding, great musician, right? But you know who else is a great musician? Hank Williams, right? You know how many people went to see that movie? 24 people went to see that movie.
24 people went to see
the one with Tom Hiddleston. Yeah, I saw the light. And Otis Redding's all due respect, it's just like, who is this? Who is this for? Who is going to the theater to see Otis Redding biopics?
I don't know, buddy, but maybe a lot of people. You know.
No, I don't think so. I mean, now listen, in my original thing about that, I used an example of Big Eyes, and I'm like, who is going to see like a Margaret Keane biopic? But Big Eyes actually made $30 million on like a $10 million budget. So like, I know not to always go like that. Like, who is this person? Why do they care? If the movie's good enough, you'll care about anybody. But like, just on the outside looking in, I'm just like, an Otis Redding movie. What are teenagers going to go see that on a Friday night? Like, I don't think so.
No, but old people might. Older people might. I mean, I'm still mad we never got the
Yeah.
Jeffrey L. Martin Marvin Gaye movie. That should have been a damn slam dunk, for God's sakes. Where's the Sam Cooke movie? I mean, he's a much more tragic figure in the world of soul and R&B than, and we got Sam in the.
Not every musician needs a biopic, you know.
Yeah,
like
the good ones do. We'll get a Red Hot Chili Peppers before we get a fucking Sam Cooke one. All right, Baharo 3 says Sinners test screening equals decent. Any concerns for WB? Did you hear this, Jeff? I haven't heard anything about a Sinners test.
Well, there was a whole report that apparently Michael B. Jordan's not playing vampires.
Okay, well, tell the Rap that, because the Rap said that he was playing Vampire Brothers. So.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the trades said that he was. I don't know. I can't tell if it's just like the KKK that's the vampires, or that some of them are vampires.
What?
Yeah, it was an interesting report from the test screening.
That's so on the nose to have the KKK be the vampires. Oh, I get it. They're going to suck the blood out of the black community. That seems so simple from Ryan Coogler, that I would be shocked that that's the story. I would be really fucking shocked.
It beats me, man. But it's just like, if they're not Vampire Brothers, then if you're Warner Brothers, why not try to like correct that record? Is it like, do you just throw up your hands and say, well, listen, we're going to let the movie speak for itself, and we're not going to be correcting any of this stuff? But like, I don't know.
That's an excellent point, Jeff. Why aren't you correcting this? That's an excellent point. Max Sloth, my brother, says, by the way, Rocha, and this is, by the way, Jeff's brother, who he met up there in Toronto. He says, I'm Gen Z and I love Frank Sinatra music. Jeff, it's both timeless and classic. Great tunes. Great tunes, you out of touch boomer. Yeah.
I love whenever I say that, right? I'm like, who is this for? What is this for? And people are like, well, it's for me. It's for me. It's for me. It's for me. Okay, that's great. It's for you. Is it for enough people to justify its budget and marketing budget? Sinatra is a 9-figure investment. That's $100 million movie. Why don't you throw in another 50 to 75 for marketing?
Yeah.
Like, is this movie making $400 million worldwide? Because that's basically what it needs these days.
I would argue, Jeff, that it's more than $100 million movie, because you got to attract A-list talent to play all these characters, to play all these guys.
What I'm saying is, like, we're not living in the days of like, you can go make The Aviator and come out a winner. Like, I don't know what year people think it is.
You'd have to have Woody Allen directed for like 10 million and keep.
And I love, Racial Giant Podcast is yelling black people. Like yes, black people are going to turn out en masse for the Otis Redding biopic. Sure.
I don't know.
I've heard that before many times, and there's all kinds of examples, and it doesn't.
Yeah, that's true. Of black people not turning up for movies.
Who is going to see the Emmett Till movie? Black people.
Right.
Okay.
It didn't do that well.
Turns out black people are just like white people, and they want to be entertained when they go to the movies.
Yeah. Good point. I agree with you. Look how many Latinos didn't show up to all those Latino movies, for fuck's sake. It happens. Your boy Jimmy says, after Dial of Destiny, do you think the indie franchise is done forever? Obviously, Ford is too old, but I think a young indie TV reboot would be cool. Well, they did that. The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, for those of you who are not yet old enough to remember that, they did do a TV series for a little while. But I don't think they do another Indiana Jones until Harrison Ford dies. I think that's when you reboot it, because then he's gone. Right, Jeff? I feel like he would tie himself to the set.
I don't know if you're necessarily waiting for him to die, but I mean, you maybe retire.
Harrison, die, you son of a bitch. We have to do another Indiana Jones. Galleon Production says, no eviction or natural disaster can stop the hot mic from dropping the hottest scoops in showbiz. Cheers to the great show, fellas. Keep it up. Thank you, Galleon. It's been a while. Good to see you, brother.
Wait, did you have a natural disaster?
Yeah, there was earthquakes down here, bro. You didn't know that?
So you have a natural disaster and I'm being evicted?
I mean, 6 of one, half a dozen.
I mean, my lease is up, guys. I'm not being evicted. Believe me, I wish it was up sooner. I would have been drowning in this expensive apartment for the last 6 months. But yeah, I had to wait to get out till October.
There you go. Samuel said, did y'all see The Front Room with Brandy by A24? No, I did not see that. Did you see that, Jeff?
No, I do want to watch it. I've heard Catherine Hunter delivers like one of the year's most batshit insane performances.
Is it a show or a movie?
It's a movie.
And it's on what? Hulu or something? Or is it all out?
I don't know where it is. I know where I can find it, but
Brandy's the lead.
Yes.
Okay. Fred Tastic 314 says, if Aaron Pierre fails with Green Lantern, does he become? Huh?
If he fails.
Yeah, fails with Green Lantern. Does he become Slade Wilson / Deathstroke like Ryan Reynolds with Deadpool? Love the hot mic.
What?
No.
So wait, if he fails to get Green Lantern, or like he
yeah,
is
maybe
Green
that's what he
Lantern,
thinks.
then
Yeah, because they won't move him over to play another character. If he fails
Slade Wilson, Deathstroke, like is that a black character?
No, Slade's white, but I mean, it doesn't have to be white. So because he's under a mask most of the time.
Really get a Deathstroke vibe from him.
And I don't think he'd do a film where he has to stay under a mask most of the time.
Yeah, you see those eyes? Those eyes are like as blue as the ocean.
Those eyes.
Yeah, I don't see that.
I don't think so.
I think if you're him, you're holding out to be fucking Batman. If they are casting another Batman.
Oh shit.
Yeah, you become the first black Batman. That's a fucking headline that James, if I'm James Gunn, I want to be known for casting the first black Batman.
Dude, and that brother is smooth, man. He could be a great Bruce Wayne.
Those eyes and that mask, that's a good look.
I know I just said you don't want to see him under the mask, but you'd see him as Bruce Wayne, so.
Sure, but.
Yeah, I like it, dude.
In a Slade or a Deathstroke mask, you don't see his eyes, I don't think.
I got to be honest with you. I have not been on that board with like a black Superman, Michael B. Jordan. It just didn't strike me until you just said Aaron Pierre. It's the first time that in my head I was like, you know what? I can see it with Aaron Pierre.
I agree. I didn't, and I've always said I don't really want to see a black Batman either. But I could see him. I couldn't see like Michael B. Jordan as fucking Batman.
Right? No. Or a Superman.
I could see Aaron Pierre.
Yeah, I agree with that. Francisco says, if I heard Jolo Maraduena might be Nova for the MCU, do you think Jolo is done with Blue Beetle for the DC studio? No. Jolo Maraduena had said that he's possibly in the Nova movie. It doesn't mean that he is Nova. There's a difference here. So I don't know if Jolo is done with the Blue Beetle, but clearly they're not going to do any more Blue Beetle-led movies. So he can still play a character in the DCU and be a character in the MCU, possibly. So
nobody who says they might be anything is going to be that thing. I'll put it that way. I might be Nova. Yeah, no, I don't think if you're going out and saying that publicly, I don't think you're going to end up being Nova.
That's a good point. Michael Miles says, is James Gunn going to go on social media and claim credit for Joker 2 as DC Studios production like he did with the Penguin and Super/Man? That's an excellent point, Michael Miles. Is he going to own the failures as much as he owns the successes? Because he did. He trumpeted Penguin, trumpeted Super/Man is coming out under his DCU. Will he do this with Joker 2? I love this idea.
I don't know that it is.
Neither was Penguin or Super/Man. Those were all in production before he took over.
But Super/Man is a DC Studios project.
But it was, but again, it was done before James Gunn took over.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter. I mean, that may be fine. But Joker 2, I don't think that is a DC Studios movie. I don't think it had DC Studios logo or credit on it, did it?
It's Warner Brothers.
Yeah. So I think that's why he probably won't take that credit.
But I bet it was a success. He might weave his way in there. Derek Johnson is giving some support. Thank you, Derek. Always great to see you on here.
Thank you, Derek.
AC Squirrel says, did you guys see the music by John Williams trailer? Favorite film scores of his. Also, John, did you ever watch the Faye Dunaway doc on Max? No, I haven't seen that one yet. So
me neither.
I will work my way around to that one. John, Jeff, your favorite. Did you see the trailer? And do you have a favorite John Williams?
I did not see the trailer.
Uh-oh. Running out.
John Williams' favorite score, huh? Wait, what else we got besides Star Wars and Indiana Jones?
What are you fucking kidding me right now? What is wrong with you? Oh my God. Here, let me run it down. Jesus Christ. The things you're making me do when I've got 3 shots inside of me. I hate you right now.
What shots did you get? I needed to get some shots.
I got the new COVID vaccine shot that came out just a few weeks ago. I got the flu shot. And I got the shingle shot because I'm getting.
You got the flu and the COVID shot on the same day?
Oh, I always do that.
You're crazy.
I know. I like to challenge myself, bro. Where you at, bro? All right. Let's throw some Poseidon Adventure, The Long Goodbye, The Paper Chase, Sugarland Express, Jaws, The Towering Inferno, Close Encounters, Star Wars.
Jaws. Say no more. Jaws.
Yeah, Jaws.
That's an amazing score.
Yeah, Superman's my favorite, but I do love the Raiders score, and of course Star Wars. That's kind of my ranking there. Derek says, I feel like Teddy Pendergrass biopic would be amazing. Yes, another Love TKO. Come on, you got to call it Love TKO for God's sakes. That would be great, Teddy Pendergrass. I don't think so. I think it would be amazing, Derek, but no way that's a feature film release. No way that's maybe a streaming one. Wayne Edward says, I agree with Jeff. As a person who dabbled in the kink and BDSM world for a few years, I can say there are some type A powerful women who like to be dominated at times. Same for some type A men. All right.
There you go. See?
Wayne. Again,
if you're dominant all day long, you're just making decisions all day long. Sometimes you just want someone to make the decisions for you. Isn't that right, baby girl?
Oh, boy. I like to be in control all the time. Derek John says, some more support. Thank you, Derek. Samo says, which popular 80s to 90s musician should get a biopic, Jeff? You going to talk all that mess? Who would you want to see? 80s, 90s musician.
I mean, obviously, like Kurt Cobain is like the answer, but I think a Seattle bio, like a Seattle music scene, like through the eyes of a journalist up there in Seattle, that could be super interesting.
Like an Almost Famous approach, like where they're following one band through the grunge as it blows up.
Yeah, but you're running into different bands and all that kind of thing. I mean, I think Tom Petty could be interesting. I think Chris Cornell could be interesting.
Yeah. Well, I think George Michael would be fascinating. That new doc they did on Max a year or two ago, I thought was excellent. So, Boy George, I think Boy is a cross-dressing guy breaking into the business, having that affair with his drummer.
That's in the works. Yeah, that
is it really? Oh, okay, I could see that. Madonna's in the works. Derek Johnson says some more support. Thank you, Derek. Very kind of you, brother. James D. Michelle says, hi, John and Jeff. Is Matt Reeves' Batman joining the DCU, or is Andy Muschietti still on board to direct, or is he fired? Jeff, what have you heard? Anything?
I mean, is he? I don't know. I think that it makes sense that Pattinson would, but I'm not saying that he is or isn't.
Right.
And I don't really think that they're saying that either. And is Andy Muschietti? I mean, according to John, he's already been fired months ago. But I think he's still on board for now. I don't really see that movie going forward or getting made. I've heard there's just been no movement on that project.
Literally zero news on that project. Yeah.
Derek, same thing with Lobo, by the way.
Oh yeah. Woo! I'm not playing Aquaman anymore. Give him a Lobo movie.
Yeah, where's anything on that?
Here's Minecraft. Okay. Derek Johnson says, is this a real thing that Disney is considering taking over their stars' social media with their consent to handle a lot of the toxic social media and hiring security firms? Oh, that seems like such an expense, Jeff. Do you think they're doing that? You think they do that?
I think they were already doing that. Yeah, I think that these stars have been instructed to stay away from social media. Some of them insist on engaging with their fans. Maybe the lucky ones, but yeah, a lot of them are also put in bad positions with the fans, and it's not necessarily their fault. It's could have been any black actor who's cast in or person of color who's cast in some role that was traditionally white, and so the fans rebel. It's not necessarily personal. But it becomes obviously personal real quick online. And as someone who's been off social media for 2 weeks, I feel a lot better not having people just yell at me all the time. So I think this is something that a lot of studios and publicists do. And I think a lot of stars hire social media firms to do this stuff.
We should start one. Hot mic social media firm.
Yeah, I think that's a great pitch. Guys, let Jeff Sneider handle your social media for you. He knows exactly what to do and what not to do.
I would come into the office and Jeff is like 30 cigarettes deep.
Right. I just offered nudes on Kim Kardashian's account.
Oh no, not another Twitter flame war.
I thought it was mine.
Derek Johnson says, are we not exhausted of Batman no matter the color? We haven't even dipped into the many DC characters that exist.
That exactly. So, Derek, you're right. When they're making Bane, I keep saying Bane and Deathstroke movies, and it's like, who's Wonder Woman in this universe? Like,
great point.
I don't, it's like, what is happening?
Yeah, it's a great point, Jeff. Let's see. Derek also comes in and says, thank you, Derek. Derek, you've been incredible today. Thank you so much. He says, have you guys seen the Robbie Williams with the CGI monkey trailer? I felt it was crazy and different. I liked it. I almost reacted to it. It just only got like 30,000 views in the first hour. And I don't usually react to trailers unless they break it 100,000 in the first hour. So, because it doesn't lead to good views, but clearly it caught on because it got views much, much later. It's a batshit idea and I loved it. And as a Robbie Williams fan, I can't wait to see it. Did you see this, Jeff?
I haven't watched it, and a big part of it is like he's a guy who I'm talking about. Like, why do we need a Robbie Williams biopic? What could be that fascinating about this guy? Clearly, it wasn't fascinating enough, which is why they have to have him being played by a CGI monkey. Like, I'm sure that there are some songs that I could hum or sing if you told me like how they went, but like if you're like gun to the head, what is a Robbie Williams song? I have no fucking idea.
Fair enough. Millennium is his big hit. Then Angels, which is that ballad of his, but he was also a member of Take That.
Can you sing some of these?
Huh?
Angels. How does that go?
I'm seeing angels instead.
Okay, I know that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Millennium is like, ooh, Millennium. Look, I'm not a good singer, so but he did that. But he was a member of Take That. Remember that song from Take That in the 90s? Whatever I did, whatever I said, I didn't mean it. I just want you back again.
By the way, guys, I just want to let you know I knew all of these songs, and I just said that to get John to sing.
You know, I suck at karaoke. Monroe says, any new MJ biopic news? When's the trailer drop? Oh, I have no idea. Jeff, have you heard anything?
Movie comes out when? In April?
I think it comes out soon.
I think we know when it drops then.
Probably Christmas, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Unless it. What is like Lionsgate's big movie the rest of the year? Does it have
Ballerina? No.
Huh?
Wait, is Ballerina this year or no?
No.
Okay.
So I wonder if they'll advertise, if I was them, on like, I don't know if Universal would allow it, but Wicked.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I would advertise it.
What's your thoughts on that, man? 2 hours and 40 minutes runtime for the first part? Jeff.
Dude, I don't know if I'm even going to see this movie. Like, I may wait for the reviews on that one, since I won't be a part of them, I'm sure. I won't be a part of the early wave of reviews. So we'll see if because they won't be like overwhelmingly negative, but you'll be able to tell if they sound respectful and just not in love with it.
Yeah, I'm not. I again, from the two sources that I have, I've not heard that the screenings have gone well. So maybe there's re-edits, maybe there's changes. I don't know. So that's what I heard a couple of months ago. But maybe again they've changed it, and we'll see. But 2 hours and 40 minutes for a part one of a musical, bro. And in December, with all this competition in December, I don't know. I don't know if it makes sense. Thank you, Derek. Some more support. Appreciate it, brother. Let's move on these. Oh, wait. We got 3 more of these. Sorry, man. I'm really running out of energy. Wayne says, Wayne Edwards, how about a movie following an artist or band during the new wave of the 80s? That music is still influencing artists today. As a new wave 80s lover and still listens to some of these YouTube channels that play new wave inspired music, I would love to see that. Maybe Yaz or maybe Devo or maybe New Order. That could be really interesting to explore that through the 80s, the new wave 80s. Jeff, for us older people.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff.
Depeche Mode.
Oh, yeah, Depeche.
I don't know.
Alan Smith, he says, yo, Rokener, that's your ship name? Any interest in the new Salem's Lot? The original was a great miniseries. What are your favorite vampire movies? Thanks. Yeah, Jeff, when is that Salem's Lot coming out? Is it soon? What is
coming out today? I actually
really?
in the newsletter as of now, I'm planning on writing my top 10 Stephen King adaptations.
Okay. All right.
In honor of Salem's Lot, but I have not brought myself to watch it. I think I watched 10-15 minutes of it, and I was like, this is flat and boring.
Oh, it's not your jam.
You know?
What's it on?
But I haven't given it a fair chance. I do like Lewis Pullman. I like Bill Camp. It has a decent cast, but I haven't heard great things about it.
It's on Max. Okay. How many episodes? 10?
No, it's a movie.
Oh, then I watch.
But it's too long. It's also like an hour 54. I'm like, this should be like a 96-minute movie.
Yeah.
But wait, so what are some of your favorite vampire movies?
Oh, favorite vampire movies. Well, the original Nosferatu. I do like Coppola's Dracula as a fun, campy film. Love at First Bite, that cheesy 1980s film with George Hamilton. Hell yes. Interview with a Vampire, I think, is a good movie. What's the one with Tilda Swinton and
Only Lovers Left Alive?
Yeah, Only Lovers Left Alive. I like that one. And what's the Iranian one in black and white? I think it's Iranian.
A Girl Walks Home Alone.
Yeah, Girl Walks Home Alone. Like, that is a fucking excellent vampire film. Oh, and let the right one in. That one is right.
All good choices. I gave John 6 chances. He didn't say it though. The Frog Brothers, my friend. The Frog Brothers.
I've never even heard of that one. The Frog Brothers.
It's not a movie. They're characters in the movie.
Oh.
You know who the fucking Frog Brothers are?
I don't. What are they in?
The Lost Boys.
Oh, yeah. I never was a Lost Boys guy. I never was.
Pussy.
It seemed a bit much for me. The Lost Boys. Get that naked dude off the stage with his saxophone. Calm it down.
That's the man.
Come on. That guy's working at a Denny's. Derek Johnson says, I watched the new Joker movie. No spoilers here, but damn, what a waste of time. And that ending made me want to jump out of a window. Yeah, I think that ending, once those spoilers get released tonight or tomorrow, rather, that ending is going to be the stuff of arguments for sure. I see some people.
Right, Derek.
Right? Don't you think, Jeff? That's going to be a big fight.
Derek's spot on.
Yeah.
Also, Derek paid enough money where I'm just going to agree with whatever he says.
Derek,
but you are spot on, Derek.
Yeah. In defense of Robbie Williams and his documentary on Netflix. Oh, yeah. In defense of Robbie Williams, his documentary series on Netflix blew up, and that's probably why he got a movie. I mean, he's an international star, but really didn't blow up much here in the States. Well, Millennium and Angels did blow him up to a degree, but you're right. He's a massive global star.
Angels and
and that series was really interesting. I like that doc series. So, yeah, maybe that's why. Good point, Derek. Okay, last support. Won't keep you guys here by continuing to donate. LOL. Thank you, Derek. Very kind of you to donate some, a lot today.
Derek's making everybody look bad.
I know. Where are the rest of you guys? All right, let's hit these Streamlabs to get out of here, man. Philly19057 says, listen, I know that it is early, but is Colin Farrell the front runner for Best Actor in a limited series drama? They did greenlight a season 2 of Sugar there, Jeff. Are you excited about this?
That's not what he's getting at. It's the Penguin, right?
Oh, right. Limited series. My bad. Yeah, he's excellent in that show, of course.
Yeah, I think he's fucking amazing. So I think he's definitely going to get a nomination. All depends, what else comes out the rest of the year. It's early in the cycle.
Yeah, Miliotti's doing a great job as well. I hope she gets recognized by some voting bodies. Barry, hi, Jeff. Have you heard anything lately about David Fincher's Squid Game remake? Yeah, we haven't heard anything, Jeff. Have you heard anything?
I have not heard much, but I will say that last night, I did the Squid Game VR.
Ooh.
It was amazing.
You have VR? You have a VR set?
No. I went to it's like a nice apartment complex, Cumulus. And like they have retail at the bottom. And I think it's called Sandbox VR, or I'm forgetting what it's called. But anyways, you can play a whole bunch of games. There's like a Marvel game, a Star Wars game where you do lightsabers and shit. There's Red Dead Redemption, but we did the Squid Games one, and it was so fucking cool. It's a little pricey. I think it was like $60, and the whole experience probably took like 45 minutes.
Yeah. Well, that's not bad for 60 in LA.
Right. No, it was totally worth it. I was like, this is unique. It's well done. Like, it was a workout. Right. So I had interviewed someone from Squid Game The Challenge, and they sent me a Squid Game outfit. So I wore it to the fucking place last night. All the employees were like, oh shit, like this guy came ready. And then they're like, all right, do you want to wear that fucking thing during this? And I was like, yeah, like I want to do like the real contestants do. And they're like, trust me, you don't want to wear that fucking jacket. I was like, all right, I'll take it off. And I'm glad I did, because I was sweating balls doing this thing. It was exhausting. And I had a blast. Definitely worth it for the money.
You got to be in shape for a VR game. That's crazy. Lucas_Fisher says Paul W.S. Anderson's In the Lost Lands has been acquired by Vertical and is set for release early next year. I and that one other guy that cares are very excited about this.
I have a buddy who does. Never mind. No, I have a buddy who works in acquisitions, and it's just funny. Like, you'll ask about these movies that their company acquires. Yeah. And they'll be like, oh, I haven't seen it. I'm like, didn't you buy it? And they're like, yeah, but I haven't seen it. It's like, sometimes they buy movies just because based on the elements, because they know that they can sell the elements and market the elements.
Yeah.
Sometimes they buy movies because it's like of the deal. So it's like, we're actually not going to, when we buy the movie, we're not going to give you any money, right? You were buying it for no money,
right?
But you get it on the back end based on how many rentals there are on the VOD market and shit like that. So it's like, it's just, I don't know, that whole area of the business is absolutely fascinating to me. But Paul W.S. Anderson, Resident Evil, he's got some cachet, some international value. That's why they buy it.
Is he still married to Mila Jovovich? I wonder.
Yeah, I think so.
Nice. She was just at the 30-year celebration. Can you believe that, Jeff? Of the fucking
Dazed and Confused.
Yeah. Oof, some of those pictures of those people, man. Doug Developers says, hey, Jeff, what are the chances you give Demi Moore?
Than Dazed and... no, you're right. It is.
Yeah. What are the chances you give Demi Moore to be nominated for The Substance? Also, do you think Amy Adams may get the Scent of a Woman treatment and win for Night Bitch because she's been nominated so many times?
Who sent that question?
Doug Developer.
Doug, I want to answer that question, but I can't spoil tomorrow's show. So
how dare you?
All I'll say is that you have to watch For Your Consideration on Perry's channel tomorrow. Like that's the whole show, really. Is that question whether Demi gets nominated or Amy Adams?
Mm.
Let me put it this way. I'll put it this way. If you're an Academy voter, you give Amy Adams a 7th nomination for a movie that she's definitely not going to win for. Or do you give Demi Moore her first nomination?
There you go. That's a good one. Thank you for answering that way, Jeff. All right, Paper Master says, speaking of Reedus, the Daryl premiere was great. I didn't love season 1, but all the Carol stuff in this was fantastic. The best she's been since season 9. Melissa being Emmy worthy as usual. Also, would you like to see them in Invincible? As voices in Invincible. Yeah, maybe. I haven't, dude, I stopped watching season 7, I think, of Walking Dead last time I watched that show before Rick was killed off and then came back. I haven't watched any. Have you watched any of these Walking Dead shows, Daryl, or any of these things?
No, these aren't funny. I forgot we were on a podcast. I'm just shaking my head. Yeah, no.
I got to read these.
The answer is no.
All right, here's our last one before I fucking pass out. Anthony V. I had to comment on Nicole Kidman, my girlfriend in an alternate universe. If you get a chance, watch her performance in 2001's The Others. The film is one of my favorite ghost stories that I rewatch every Halloween season. Cheers to both of you. Again, I want to make it clear. Nicole is a fantastic actress. I have no issues with Nicole Kidman as an actress. I just don't find her attractive. So when they make her this attractive sexual being in a movie, I'm not usually buying it, right? Because I just don't find her attractive. That's all my personal opinion. It doesn't mean objectively I can't still think she's doing a fantastic job with the film. So I just want to clarify that, Jeff.
Well, I'd like to clarify. I think Nicole Kidman is hot as fuck.
There you go. It has been clarified. All right. Thank you all so much for joining us. Appreciate you all so much. Thanks for all the Streamlabs and Super Chats. Of course, special shout out to Derek Johnson for the amount of Super Chats he sent us. We appreciate it. I'm on my way to die. So, Jeff, where can they find you and where can they subscribe to your newsletter? And is that your
theinsnyder.com. I think that this arm is from Hardcore Henry. I forget which movie sent us this arm, John.
That looks like the Terminator, isn't it? The Knuckles.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, maybe
you tell me. Because Terminator wouldn't have this.
I guess you're right. I guess it wouldn't have that.
It'd just be an exoskeleton. So, yeah, I don't know. But anyways, I'm the Insnider. Thanks for subscribing to the newsletter, especially as I try to get verified for an apartment, which is just a pain in the ass when you're self-employed.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I'm like, God, but I have subscribers, guys. And they're like, we don't care.
There you go. As for me, you can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Please subscribe to the channel down below. We're so close to 35,000 subscribers. It'd be so great to cross that. We're like double digits away from it. So please subscribe if you haven't. And of course, listen to the podcast version of this if you want. If you don't want to see our pretty face, you can listen to the podcast version that's out there. Leave a comment down below. Hit a like on this video. Share it on your social media. And to everybody, go and see the movie this weekend or a couple movies this weekend. And we'll see you next week with another brand new live episode of the Hot Mic Piece. Until then.